What's up, Ravens fans? It's time to hear from you guys in our Ravens Mailbag segment. Lots of good questions right now as free agency is less than a month away, so let's dive into them, Ryan. And the first question today comes from Callow Cheerios. And the question is, why is the salary cap always an issue?
Well, the short answer here is that the Ravens draft good players and thus end up paying those good players, and they end up paying them a lot of money. I mean, you look at Brandon Williams last year as a prime example. Here you get a guy in the third round, defensive tackle, becomes one of the best run stoppers in the NFL, and you pay him. That ups the salary cap. The other part of it is Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco makes a lot of money. You look at the breakdown here. Last year, Flacco was the only player the Ravens had averaging over $10 million as a salary cap hit last year, okay? This year, they're gonna have 4 guys, Flacco, Jimmy Smith, Brandon, and Yanda, all over $10 million cap hits. So you got a lot of star players that you're paying good money to. But here's the other thing. I wouldn't really complain about this issue. It's a good thing that the Ravens spend money. They're always right up there against the cap. I mean, how'd you like to be a Browns fan, right? And you look at it and there's $111 million under the cap and you're like, why aren't you guys spending this money? Right. Sign some people, help us win some more games, you know? I mean, the San Francisco 49ers, here they built a brand new stadium. You know, ticket prices are pretty expensive out there. You look at it, they have $78 million in cap space this year. So as a fan, I would be glad that the Ravens are in this kind of difficult situation as much as it prevents them sometimes from signing some of those big item free agents.
And the other thing too, and we've talked about this before, is there's ability, they have the ability to kind of manipulate those numbers as you get down to it. If there's a guy that you want to go after, they do still have freedom to do that, and Steve Bisciotti said that's something they can do, and they could restructure again contracts this year, Brandon being one of them maybe.
All the best teams do it. You look at who's up against the salary cap, it's the Patriots, it's the Eagles. The Eagles right now, defending Super Bowl champions, are the only ones over the salary cap already going into next year. All the best, the Steelers, every year in the same exact situation. When you draft good players, you have to pay them, and you're tight against the cap.
All right, let's move it on here. The next question comes from Holland's Opus, and the question is, if the Chiefs are shopping Marcus Peters, shouldn't we be willing to trade a draft pick and Jimmy Smith to go get him? Well, I'll start with the Jimmy Smith piece. I don't think that the Ravens should go ahead and trade Jimmy Smith. I still think that he's somebody that the Ravens have high hopes for despite coming off the injury. So let's just talk about the idea of going to get Marcus Peters. He's a cornerback that the Ravens liked coming out of the draft a few years ago, was a first-round pick, has been a Pro Bowler, has been a guy that's been a ball-hawking kind of a quarterback.
You liked him.
Oh, I took him in my mock draft that year, and he was off the board before the Ravens had a chance to get him. So I think from a talent standpoint, if the Chiefs truly are shopping him around, which is that the reports is that they are, I think it's worth making a call and seeing what they would take to get him. But here's the other part of it. Marcus Peters is somebody that's kind of rubbed some people the wrong way throughout his career. He was dismissed from his college team. He was suspended for a game last year by the Chiefs, so that's something that you have to take into consideration. I'm not saying that would wipe away the possibility, but that's just something you have to take into consideration. But if it were me, I'd make a call. What do you want for him?
But I think also you're looking at the salary cap. We just talked about we're tight against the salary cap. Can you take on Marcus Peters' salary? I doubt it, especially if he's going to get paid very soon. And Marlon Humphrey. I think the Ravens want to give Marlon Humphrey, he's going to have to earn it, but he has, I think, a starting spot, you know? So when you have Jimmy, when you have Marlon, where does Marcus Peters play?
Right. The other question is, where's Jimmy's health? I mean, that's kind of the other part of this, is as he's coming back from the injury, and the Ravens obviously still have Brandon Carr on the roster too.
Right, exactly.
That does it for us and Ravens Mailbag this week, but as always, we'd love to hear from you guys, so send in your questions on social media every single week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.